Kim Githler, CEO and chair of The Money Show. I want to talk about the investor conference business because you've got seminars all over the world. Give us a brief overview of The Money Show.
We do. We actually educate investors, traders, and financial advisors. We do about 35,000 attendees a year, 8 major locations, and then we do those wonderful exotic cruises for people like Forbes, Money Magazine. We've done some for Morningstar, so we do it for other media companies, and we absolutely take you all over the world. We have one leaving in Asia from Singapore in 5 days.
So you can take a vacation and learn a thing or two about money.
Absolutely.
It's a great combo.
Absolutely.
Now, you've also have some top speakers, right? Steve Forbes, Peter Schiff, folks from BlackRock, TD Ameritrade, and our own CEO, Dave Calloway, who has spoken many times.
That's right.
These people are really the stars of the show, right?
They are. Actually, we have 1,500 experts that we follow, and we're always looking for new experts. But more importantly, those experts attract our audience. So they all have individual followings. So people like John Netto, people that are book authors, people that are extremely good at educating for strategies, investment ideas. People like Jim Cramer Jim has spoken actually at our Las Vegas show about probably 15 years ago now. His father was actually in the audience.
Oh, that's great. Well, talk to us about your business model in terms of how you're making money on this.
What we do is we are a financial media company that does it digitally, and we do it in live format. We are free. There are no barriers to entry for our shows. We primarily are paid for through our advertisers. We have advertisers that are great educators, people like Thinkorswim with TD, people like Fidelity, E-Trade, Merrill Lynch. We have great, like NYSE is an exhibitor, the OIC, the CBOE. So we have a lot of great institutions that back investor education, and that's how we basically pay for it. With the cruises, it is basically from the individuals that pay for their cabins and their seminar fees. And then they travel with people like Steve Forbes, have dinner, the 12 of them, and get up close and personal. And Steve is one of the nicest people in the world. So we really enjoy those cruises because they're experiential.
Now, how has the business performed since the 2008 financial crisis, which I know scared a lot of people from the markets, right? They were a little bit afraid of getting in, given all those declines we saw in that time.
Well, we're seeing a very heady time right now. I would say it's the Trump effect.
Totally.
People are clearly excited about the market. Growth is a big topic at our shows.
The Trump rally.
Oh yes, the Trump rally, and we've seen just an amazing amount of people come out, and they are curious. But I will say that 2008, I would say it's probably the most significant downturn in terms of fear by our investors and traders of Wall Street and the market. They really were afraid because they lost a significant amount of their portfolio. So they all of a sudden took a step back and said, wait a minute, maybe I'm not so good at this. Maybe I need more investing advice. So we're really excited about the new market and what Trump is doing for the market.
All right, now you also have a conference here in New York. It's called Traders Expo. It's more the B2B side. Tell us how that differs from some of your other conferences that perhaps are geared towards more retail investors.
The Traders Expo is for the active trader. And it's also more of a B2B conference because many of the active floor traders or people that are on the buy side or sell side, people that are in the industry come to connect with the active trader, but more importantly, the exhibitors that are on the floor.
All right, and data companies are also involved in this because obviously there's going to be a lot of software demonstrations for folks.
Absolutely, absolutely. Heavy data, heavy data.
And in terms of vendors we might see at this one, talk to us on that front about what we might see there.
You would see people that are demonstrating their software. So TD Ameritrade is there, Merrill Lynch is there, TradeStation is there, VectorVest is there, the NYSE is there, the CBOE is there, the OIC is there, and what they do is they're very demonstrative and do a lot of education on the floor. So really it's an educational one-on-one hub.
And I know a big component for your business is attracting the next generation of investors, which is what you're doing with MoneyShow University. So tell us about that and how the millennial investor is different from your average everyday investor.
Well, the millennial investor is quite different because, first of all, they're very curious about the market. I asked for a show of hands for the 300 students that came in for MoneyShow University in Orlando during the Dave Calloway presentation. And half of the audience raised their hands. So I said, how many of you are investors? 5 people raised their hands. How many of you are traders? Everyone else raised their hands. So these are hands-on, active traders, and they're very self-directed.
So this goes way beyond the index fund.
Oh, absolutely. They're trading options.
So it goes that
Equity
in-depth.
options, absolutely. And they're excited about it.
And is that the big driver of growth for you going forward, the millennial investor?
I would say the big driver of growth for us is across all channels. I think the self-directed investor and trader is taking on more momentum in every area of generation. And of course, the millennial is near and dear to my heart because I believe that education has not been so productive in colleges and in high schools.
Why do you think that is?
Because I've actually looked into it because I was very involved in wanting to bring it into high schools with my son. And what it is that every state makes their own decisions about curriculum. And the curriculum is really predetermined. Each state has reading, arithmetic, PE, and there is no additional room to add to the curriculum for business, money, and life, which is really what these students need to learn.
Well, it's incredible. And you know what? You look at a 50-year chart of the Dow, stocks go up. So you have to be investing. That's the main takeaway.
Absolutely. Invest in America. Invest around the world. We believe in it.
All right. Kim Githler, CEO of The Money Show. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, Scott.
Thank you. I'm Scott Gamm, and you're watching The Street.